This is Governor Bobber. I like good day, doctors.
George Allen here. Good day, doctors.
Hey, this is Governor Chris Christie from New Jersey. Good day, doctors.
Go! You're watching Dr. Politics.
Welcome, everyone. It is Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. And it is the year 2025, and we just keep on winning and winning and winning. And, we just basically, as we just can't, we're getting tired of it, I think, but the president won't let us do that. So how's everyone? Today is the first week. This is the first week we could get Shamrock Shakes. They're back, everyone. Everyone enjoy their Shamrock Shakes.
Yep, thanks.
I got a Baja Mountain Dew instead. It's I just realized, how long it's been since I've had a Mountain Dew? I mean, it's probably been over 10 years since I had a Mountain Dew Code Red.
There's got to be so much caffeine in that, it should be illegal. Bobby Kennedy's going to do something about that, don't you think? I don't think Kennedy Jr. is going to allow that.
He can pry this out of my dead cold hands.
Yeah.
Frankly, Bobby Kennedy's people got rid of Jolt Cola too. If you guys remember Jolt,
I remember Jolt, but he's out. He got confirmed.
Yes, he did, and Vivek's gonna. He was what do you call he got through. Tulsi got through, and I think Kash Patel gets through. Frankly,
you think so? Yeah, hopefully.
Oh, I think he does.
Tulsi made. I was a little surprised by that. I didn't know she was going to make it. She looked a little rocky early in that first round of hearings.
I thought it was fun. I know Susan. What do you call? Susan Collins came out for her, as did I think Lisa Murkowski. Only Republican that voted against her was Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, that's right. Old Mitch.
Welcome, Susan.
Well, Susan's here. Yeah. Oh, Cash was confirmed. Okay.
Perfect. There we go. That so I guess that's space. Yeah, that is the cabinet is full now. Frankly, a lot of busy times for the Trump administration, folks. They're going around. Pete Hegseth was in Europe over talking to the NATO folks. We had the vice president is out there. And I don't know if you guys saw the Onion video recently about renaming of countries. This is hilarious. I'm just going to share this for a second. Give me a second. Hold on. One second. Let me just get this going. Share screen. Audio. This is just hilarious.
Gort McStevens. I'm here to talk to you about all the ways that Trump has renamed different places around the globe, starting with, of course, the United States of America, which is right here. America Classic is now called, similar to how we did New Coke, but now it's Classic. Following that, of course, is Gay North Dakota, and that's where Canada used to be, but now it's not because it's gay. Following that, we have, of course, the Ocean of America, the Atlantic Ocean, no more. Now it's the Ocean of America. This will be taught in old schools soon, so you got to get ready. Greenland? No. Marjorie Taylor Greenland. That's just a favor to her, and it kind of works with her name. Over here, we see Alaska is now McKinley's Happy Funland. So they replaced Denali with McKinley. Let me back up. Mount McKinley was renamed Denali. Now it's from Denali to Mount McKinley. And Trump said, no, that's not good enough. Now Alaska is McKinley's Happy Funland so that you know exactly where Mount McKinley is in his Funland. Moana? I don't know. Is that the one with the snowman? This is the other ocean of America. It's much like the first ocean of America, but it's the other one. And of course, we have Little Africa down here. I am told that this is a typo. It's supposed to say Little America, but apparently it is now law. And of course, Mexico is now America's pants. This is a play on the fact that Canada was America's hat. Here, Bad Teeth America. Self-explanatory. But over here, the new Middle East. It's like the old Middle East, but new and browner. Africa is still Africa. It's just that it's dark MAGA. And this is based on the fact that Elon Musk once traveled by train through England and then to America with a tag on himself that he came from darkest MAGA. And he was a polite little bear, but now he's a full-grown man. And of course, down here we have Muskie Land, which is the home country of, you guessed it, Paddington Bear. I don't know what that is. I mean, it was Iceland. I don't know why they bothered to put a question mark there. The North Pole is now America's Santa's Workshop. No longer Santa's Workshop. It's America's Santa's Workshop. And down here, of course, the mountains of madness. You can't see the mountains because the truth is you are mad. And of course, Gaza is now Mar-a-Lago East. This is still Ocean of America. And finally, Viveksburg here in India. And of course, this place right here, which used to be Russia, is now Big Loser Country, America Beat to the Moon. It's a weird name for what we now call a state of America. It's one of the new 70 states because, I mean, it's calling it a country, but it's just a part of its legacy and history that we are better than it. And of course, over here, the 100-acre wood, formerly China, and domain of President Xi Jinping. Moana? Anime? Oh, is that Moana? Next slide, please. Upside Down America, formerly Australia. And right here we have Middle Earth America. And that about does it. Here, of course, there's dragons there.
That's good.
That was
Yeah,
really good.
you know, it's by the Babylon Bee. They do great stuff.
They do because I love Marjorie Taylor Greenland.
Yeah,
I do like that.
That's a riot. That is
That's
I do like the idea of referring to Indians as Viveksburg.
Yeah, I think that's good too. Yeah,
I like that.
Muskie Land.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the Super Bowl interview?
Of the president? No, I did not.
The one thing and this reminds me of all these name changes. The one thing that struck me about that is Bear asked him, about making Canada a state. I think Brett Baer was caught off guard. I don't think he expected Trump to say yes, but Trump said yeah. Yeah.
Why not? I mean, we gave it a name.
The problem is, Rich Lowry had a column on this many weeks ago about Canada. Would we want Canada in a way? Because you'd have Ottawa and Ontario and Quebec. And so that would probably move the country to the left.
That's why I say we can make them a territory, just like Puerto Rico. Right. And just like Puerto Rico, they can't vote in our election for a week.
Now, some of the Western provinces are good politically.
We'll be the judge of that. I mean, there was a time when California was a good state, too, as was Colorado, which isn't anymore. Yeah.
Idaho was hung on because a lot of Californians have gone to Idaho, I think, but they've hung on.
Yeah.
And you know what, Don? You may agree with this. You know what saved Idaho, though? They got a strong LDS population in
Right.
Idaho and
Yeah.
big families. So that may have kept it conservative.
Yeah, I mean,
But I
the
tell you-
LDS population is pretty strong. It's Idaho and Utah are two of their strongholds.
Yes,
I mean,
There's a decent amount
Arizona
over in
was a
Arizona
good
and
stop.
Nevada too, but
yeah.
when you get overrun by Californians,
Mm-hmm.
it's sometimes hard to hold it back.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And the problems, and I think the reason Nevada tilted blue because of Las Vegas and Reno. And you've got, all the hippy dippy liberals going there to, playing the card table so they lose their money, In Arizona, they've got all the they got the same shopping they have in California, so the liberals don't dislike it, And there are not as many guns in Arizona as there are in Texas.
Yeah, well, I think we see, blue states like California, which have overregulated the population, overtaxed the population, they've chased people out. That's why they're losing congressional seats.
Yeah, they're going to lose. Yeah.
Then they flock to Arizona, and they've been looking for places that were.
You know what they're like? Okay, you know what Democrats are like? They're like locusts, okay?
Yeah.
They clear out a field. They take every last blade of grass, and when it's all gone, you know what they do? They go, "Hey, look over there. There's the greener pastures. Let's go there." And they do the same thing there. They go and go and go and go.
Yeah. My experience with Colorado was one of my first jobs out of college. I worked for Right to Work, and I did a stint in Colorado campaign stuff. And when I was there in the 90s, it was it was generally a Republican leaning state. You had Denver, you had Boulder, but
you had Hank.
I think we had the edge.
Yeah, I mean, we had great senators from there, Hank Brown and Nighthorse Campbell.
That's right, and Wayne Allard, and who was the Armstrong? Right? Was it Armstrong? Senator from Colorado, something Armstrong. I thought was a good conservative. He was 80s, really.
Yeah, because that's before my time. 80s was Gary Hart. It was Gary Hart and someone else who, by the way, Gary Hart, as Democrats go, he's not as bad as what we have today.
Yeah, you're right. No, he's not. He wasn't. Gary Hart Pence wasn't that bad.
You know who used to work for Gary, right?
Who?
Bill Lynn.
Oh, that's right. You told me that. Yeah.
You know he can't be that bad if Bill Lynn works for you.
You'd think so, yeah.
But,
Gary Hart.
Yeah, so Bill Armstrong served as a senator from 79 to 91.
Okay, I remember him, yeah.
And that was taken by Nighthorse Campbell in 92, right?
Probably Wayne Allard, maybe in Wayne Allard, right? Nighthorse was a little later, I thought.
Because he switched over in 94 to become a Republican when we took the majority.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was that
early. Because of the balanced budget amendment. When he left.
Was he in the House first? I thought as a Democrat, then maybe got to the.
Oh, he was he got elected as a Democrat. He got elected as a Democrat.
Yeah,
and then he became a Republican when BBA failed in, I guess it was 93, the balanced budget amendment. Yeah. That was when that was pushed hard. No, it must have been 94.
Okay.
Or maybe 93. But
remember Patsy Schroeder's dig at him. She called him Ben Switchhorse Campbell.
Yes, and also, Ben Nighthorse Campbell talked about how some of the racist Democrats, that he ran across over the years on a 60 Minutes interview.
Yeah, so Campbell replaced Tim Worth.
Oh, I remember him. Yes.
He was. Yeah.
But Colorado was a sad case in a sense that it dipped.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. I mean, and that has happened, right? I mean, Nevada's had the same thing. I mean, because I think we've talked about it too. Paul Laxalt.
I remember.
They've had some good. It's been a rough road for Republicans to win statewide. So they've been doing better as of late.
Yeah,
right?
I think next cycle we may win something in Nevada statewide because we've been making the crossword. Making the. I mean, we only lost by a couple hundred votes this last time for the.
Yeah. And do you guys remember now? In our lifetime, really, New Mexico's never been good politically, but there was a time.
No. Pete Domenici. When we were,
Yeah, I remember
when,
Domenici. Yes, and there was a time, and I think it was an NET at the time, where we did pick up for a time. It was maybe a House seat because the vote was split. And I remember seeing the guy after he was elected to Congress. He came to NET at once.
Mhm.
I'm tempted to think his last name was Redmond, but I don't know.
I want to say in that era we had both Senate seats in New Mexico.
Yeah.
And remember, the governor used to be a Republican before he went all libtard on us.
Okay.
He became a libertarian and ran for
Gary Johnson.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Gary was nuts. He was a little out there.
Yeah, I mean, I
He
think
said too much marijuana. Too much marijuana, I heard.
Yeah, that does not surprise me. I wonder because I know I remember there was a time when Democrats thought they were going to pick up Texas, both seats in the Texas State House, and I'm like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, the thing about that is it's weird. It's kind of counterintuitive. All the massive immigration, if anything, hurt Democrats, the open borders in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, they had
that probably really cost them.
But the worst senator from New Mexico was Jeff Bingaman.
Yeah, he was bad.
He was the worst.
Yeah, and I guess he beat Harrison Schmidt.
Harrison Schmidt. Yeah,
Schmidt and Domenici served. Yeah, they served at the same time. So
yeah,
you're
right.
You're right on the number.
He lost in '83.
Yeah,
and then we lost Tom Udall. Is he like Mo's son or something? Mo Udall's son or something like that?
I assume so, yeah.
No, there's so many Udalls around. You didn't think you'd had that many Udalls. I want to say there's a Udall from Ohio too right now.
Yeah.
Well, Udalls are a long-term Latter-day Saint family name.
Yeah.
What are they doing with Democrats then?
Because you have a few Democrats. That's the thing.
I know. I mean,
Harry Reid apparently was LDS. Yeah. He was a Democrat.
There's an old story in the church which I had never bothered to look at or confirmed, and it goes back to the early beginnings of the church. And so they said that the apostles just basically said, this side are Republicans, this side are Democrats sitting in the pews, and it's like. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know about that. But then again, when you're just just a baby, church, you're just starting out, who knows?
Yeah,
there's a little bit of folklore that who knows what the heck how that all turned out. But generally, Latter-day Saints are going to be conservative, but the same thing happens with everything else. It's become a much more worldwide church, so it has a lot more. There's a lot more differences within there. I mean, I don't talk politics at church,
I don't.
unless asked or somebody else generally brings it up. I mean, because I'm never sure who's.
Well, we had a few people from your church that helped out on your campaign. I remember when you ran for state senate.
Yeah, I mean, and we know Gene and Martha and people like that, but it's you're gonna find your Democrats and things like that. I mean, that's why I made that post the other day about Trump derangement syndrome, and I purposely abbreviated it as TDS 20 to 10, and two the negative commenters were both people that I know from church, right?
Yeah.
And then there were other there's one of the other people who commented to go back against that was also an old friend of mine from church. I just put it out there. I just thought it was like, okay, see the very fact that those people commented, the liberals commented on that, I'm like, that it was to me, I was proving my point. That there's Trump derangement syndrome, and Trump is living rent-free in your head. because you reacted to a rather innocuous comment I made on Facebook just to see if I could trigger you, and I did.
Yeah, and that is one of the symptoms of the Kamala variant. Trump living rent free in your head. Anxiety. Anxiety when seeing the color red is another one. Hearing Donald Trump's name on television is another one.
Although I'm surprised, I think this time, as opposed to 2018 or 2017, it seems the opposition's much more muted. You don't see it.
No,
like
I mean you don't see those protests like last night over at the Kennedy Center. And I'm sorry, if they're going to call President Trump a dictator, can we just like show him what a dictator would do every now and then, like take out the water cannons and hose everyone down over that were protesting at the Kennedy? I mean, I joke, but
I think it's fine that he took over the Kennedy Center. It's not like I mean, it's just an arts thing. I mean, he just wouldn't like to take involvement in that. I think that's fine. I don't see a problem.
Well, I want him to. I want the president to commission a musical called Trump.
Yeah. Well, if he does that, maybe he goes too. Well, if he does that, maybe he goes too far. But
no. How is that? How is that too far? I basically just want, and I also want to force everyone that worked on. What was that music that all the liberals love?
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
Have forced every one of those diverse actors who had the audacity to lecture Vice President Pence.
I remember that.
From the stage. We got to force them to. Because you're under contract, you got to do this. Have them do Trump, the musical.
Trump, the musical.
Oh, that's coming after he's done being president. That is coming. Trump, the musical.
I wonder where he's going to put his library. I think it needs to be in a good red state somewhere, huh?
Florida. He'll put it in Florida.
I think so.
Probably be like he'll probably like buy up a bunch of land. Maybe it'll be off of on the golf course somewhere.
Well, a lot of times they're universities. I just didn't know if it'd be a university that a lot of those.
Oh yes, please put that at the University of Pennsylvania, where he.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I don't think it'd be there. But maybe because Pennsylvania overall elected Trump. The first and the second time, or not in 20, but in 24.
Oh, I got the best place to put it: Tacoma Park, Maryland. And
well, I mean, what you were saying though about the muted response from the other side is, I mean, they're trying, but they're having a hard time, right? I mean, Trump is throwing so many things out. I mean, it's such a whirlwind that they're having a hard time. I was watching a little bit of Megyn Kelly yesterday, and she was talking with Adam Carolla, but they were looking at some of the demonstrations that have been held, and it is really comical. The left is out there, Maxine Waters and company trying to get into the Department of Education, and they didn't succeed there. Then there's another thing of Maxine Waters. Then she's then railing about the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Then there's a group of people, women. I don't know what they were complaining about something. I think maybe the USAID cutback or something like that. And this one of the speakers was, she says, I don't normally curse in public, but she says we have to F Trump, and she goes, don't tell my kids I said that. I'm like, are you kidding? People got to screw loose here, And there's that whole thing where Schumer's out there going like, "We will win, win." Right? they don't know what they're doing. I mean, they can't actually get their coalition together. They don't know what the issue is. Trump is throwing and putting up so many things and just boom, 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 boom. If they latch onto one thing, they're already behind because he's already moved on to something else.
This is shock and awe, political shock and awe.
It is. I mean, but it is just amazing. It really is hard for anybody to keep up with what is going on there. And is everything he's doing the way I would like to see him do it? Not necessarily. Is it all fully legal? I haven't a clue, because if they're going to file lawsuits, go ahead and let them file lawsuits. I mean, the unions have filed a lawsuit against, against his initial buyout proposal. Then the judge lifted it, and so people, government workers got laid off and everything like that, and they're all upside down. But I mean, we're seeing real action. I mean,
Yeah.
there. I feel sorry for people who will lose their jobs, but let's give me a break here. Who doesn't know that there is a government bloat, and something had to be done, and he's doing it.
And let's not forget, remember Bill Clinton also offered buyouts, and I would say 400,000 government employees took advantage of Bill Clinton's buyout, and he did trim the size of because of he kind of had his gun pointed at him by the Republican House saying you got to make these cuts, and he made those cuts. And
I mean, we have 2.4 million government workers. I know some of them are necessary, right? I mean, because you have the military, you have this.
If we go down,
we don't need and we don't need a $7 trillion budget.
Yeah,
we've got to get some common sense here.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm willing to bet we could probably get to under 2 million if we offer buyouts, early retirements. We could get down to probably about 1.8, 1.5 even ambitiously. If that everyone that's close to, hey, go away, you get your full retirement, go away. We're not, don't come back. We will get rid of so many people that way, and just don't fill those positions. That's all you do.
Yeah, I mean, I think the buyouts were a really good idea. I don't know that the execution of the buyouts was good because it was unclear that that the promise to pay them through September was funded, because we have these budget battles in government. They just keep funding them short term. So that was a little bit of a kind of a we weren't really sure about that. But I mean, if you're going to do a buyout, do a buyout corporate style. I mean, it's not to say you're going to pay them till September. Give them concrete figures. It's okay. Here's what you're going to get. You're going to get 6 months severance or whatever, and you're going to get your health care for a year or something like that, and then your retirement benefits will be based on whatever GS level you had when you accepted the buyout. But make it clear. I mean, what happened in this case really was just, you have to hit the accept button, and you really weren't sure what you were getting. So even people who thought they were going to get a buyout, they get a notice they're being fired, but they're like, well, we wanted the buyout, and so I think that could have been handled a lot better.
Hey, it's Dr. Jason. Welcome.
What's up?
Hey, how is real quick? How is law school going?
It's going. It's
good.
It's going well.
Good. You made it through semester one.
I made it through semester one, and the second semester is almost half over. Believe it or not.
So yeah, we were talking about the buyouts and the government folks, and how if we just offered early retirement, we could get down to almost 1.5 mil. Is that a plastic straw, Jason?
It is a plastic straw.
Oh, good, yeah.
I like when McDonald's sent over the Shamrock Shakes that the wrapper says compostable straw. So
mine's not.
A little different than the paper straw. Now they're saying basically we've got a plastic straw that is now compostable.
Yeah, I
saw it in the ground. It'll eventually compost. Maybe it'll be 20,000 years or something. But
here's the thing.
I thought put them wherever we dump the nuclear waste. Maybe.
Yeah, there you go. Glow sticks for kids at Halloween. Dig them out a year later. They get to be glow sticks for the kids.
That's exactly right.
And these will glow for a lot longer than those little glow sticks. Remember those glow sticks when we were kids?
Mm-hmm.
You cracked them and they glowed. These things, you don't have to crack them. They're just glowing.
Since Jason is a nascent law school student here, what's your take on the legality of some of the things that Trump has done?
I don't know, because I saw the whole lawsuit about like stopping up the buyout plan, but I don't know what it's based on. Based on the fact that I didn't even know about it. I saw it on either Facebook or X or something. I didn't realize that Bill Clinton had done the same thing back in the 90s. They had offered
Which is what
buyouts to
I had just
folks
mentioned.
Yeah.
So I don't know I don't know if it's based, if there's something new that's changed, because if it was okay then, I don't see why it wasn't okay now. Unless there's
It was okay because it was a Democrat. This time it's a Republican.
Well,
wrong.
you said it, not me.
That's what they say.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
I hate to
it's
be so
Donald Trump
simple.
and Elon Musk, behind it all.
Yeah, they're doing great. I have a column up today on the whole faux constitutional crisis about the whole Doge and the attacks they're taking.
And by
Yeah.
the way, President Trump also got rid of the paper straw.
That's good. That's good.
Yep.
I liked him. I like when he does those signing ceremonies because he takes questions. I think that's always very good. And he's probably already talked more than Joe Biden did in like the last 2 years.
I know, that's what I was thinking. I'm just like,
4
he's
years.
he's
4
already
years.
interacted with the media, whether
Yeah.
it's whether it be at the Oval Office or on Air Force One or whatever, or just doing it wherever he is. He's already put out more information for good or bad than Biden had during his term. I mean, there's just and it's not short. They're not like 20-minute control things, right? Because you can't control Donald Trump. He is going to talk for whatever period of time he wants to talk, and that's that.
A good example of the Bidens not saying things when I didn't understand why they didn't. For example, remember the drone issue over New Jersey? Well, in one afternoon, the press secretary just came and said, well, it was approved. It was by the FAA, and other hobbyists joined along. Why did Biden go weeks and just not say? He didn't say anything.
Because they were doing a drone Trump parade. That's what it was. It was a drone Trump parade, like we used to do those boat parades for Trump and the car parades for Trump.
You know what he said though at one of the signing ceremonies yesterday, maybe it was, and I thought it was really. I had to laugh. He seriously said it. He goes. He said, "Yeah," and I talked to Governor Trudeau about the tariffs, and I thought it was funny. Just very nonchalantly, I talked to Governor Trudeau about that, and like, wow,
yeah, it was pretty funny.
I wonder if he's just doing it to try to troll Trudeau, to get Trudeau to lose, because Trudeau's stepping down, but his party, maybe just to cause real problems there. Maybe that's the reason. He keeps bringing this up about.
Trudeau's party's already in trouble. People will be pretty surprised if they manage to somehow win. I think they're expecting the conservatives to take control.
They're just going to be like happy they don't lose as badly as they
Right.
It's like
right.
They're slated to lose, say hypothetically. It's kind of like in 2006. We were supposed to take a shellacking, and we didn't lose as badly as they said we would. Or even 2018, we didn't lose that many seats in the House. We lost the majority, but we didn't lose as many as they were predicting.
Yeah,
I was happy with that. CNN was very angry the fact that they did. We only got a 6-seat majority. They can never. That's another thing. Democrats can never be happy. Never be happy about stuff.
The thing about the expectations game, which you just mentioned, in terms of losing worse than you thought, remember Biden. In fact, I think this may have been the thing that brought him down. Remember, after the midterms, it was supposed to be the red wave, and there was no red wave, and Democrats took great comfort in that. But see, I think they took too much comfort in that. In other words, they still lost the House, but they didn't get slaughtered, and because they didn't get slaughtered, Biden thought, well, I must be doing okay. And that isn't true. That was the wrong lesson he took. And so when he was asked after the election, will there be any changes, course correction, he said no. So he didn't do anything about the issues that people really cared about, such as the border and the other things, because he didn't move to the center.
And I tell you, I don't know if you guys saw the Project Veritas video, which has been everywhere, about it's like throwing gold bricks off the Titanic. What an idiot is that EPA employee who's now a former EPA employee, who's probably working for one of those organizations he tossed those gold bricks to. But why would you say that to anyone? Honestly, that's just how hubris the left is. they can't help themselves.
Mm.
I know.
And I think back to David's point too. I mean, that whole thing, about just their attitude. I mean, it also played into the campaign, right? I mean, they didn't really say what they would change. They basically said they wouldn't really change anything. It's like, but you had a mountain of problems that you were then in denial about. You're not gonna get people to vote for you if you're not going to give them a reason to say, we need to fix these things. We need to keep working to get inflation down. We have to cut government. We got to do some things, that'll really help people and give them a reason to vote. But they just gave Trump an open lane to go grab their voters.
Yeah.
Very true. Very
They should
true.
have embraced Bobby Kennedy, and same thing with, or Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and same thing with Musk, maybe, instead of shunning him like they did. They probably should have tried to listen to him more.
Yeah. If that isn't a bromance between Trump and Musk, I don't know what is. I mean, they're giving a joint interview.
Yes,
with Hannity.
It was surreal. That's one of the great photo ops of all time, where you had Trump sitting at the desk, and he was kind of fidgeting, I thought. And then you had Musk casually dressed, dressing like
Little X,
with the kid hanging on him, and had the hat, and it was just like something you wouldn't ordinarily see in the Oval Office. It was something.
And that's another thing that just sets liberals, head spinning, because they're like, what is going on here? This people are like, we didn't elect Elon Musk to run this country. Nobody says he's running the country. He's part of a commission that has a limited lifespan, and he's going at the task at hand, rapid fire, because they have a report to give at a certain period of time, and after that, they're supposed to be done. So you have to move quickly, and they are. I mean, going to the IRS. This ought to be really fun now that they're going to look at the IRS next too. There's just one thing after another here. This is just government workers. Yeah, no wonder they're quaking in their boots about this, because they don't know, who's going to survive and who's going to get tossed through this. And the liberals, the media talking about, all this research, is going to be stopped and things like this. And I'm like, sometimes, you just kind of wonder, like, how much of this research did we really need? Right? I mean, to what end was some of this stuff? Especially all these environmental studies and things like that. I don't know. I mean, this is where you just put bureaucrats in there to study something, and and then dole out money, and that's that. The Republicans in Congress and the Senate. I mean, that part of the problem they're going to have with all this government spending cutback is just that they will have, some of those will hit home to their districts and to their states, and they need to learn to accept that there's some of the spigot, the money flow will stop, and they'll have to figure that out.
Yeah. And by the way, what do you guys think of the idea of Mayor Adams running as a Republican for the mayor of New York City?
I don't know. Would we want him? Would we want him?
I don't know. He's the latest new thing. The Republicans seem to all be falling in love with him now. We dropped the charges. But let's not forget, he really. I mean, here's a little warning: he still is a Democrat.
Yeah,
He's not. He hasn't all of a sudden become MAGA just because Joe Biden's DOJ basically indicted him.
Yeah, it's like Rod Blagojevich. I mean, he's still a Democrat.
Yeah, I mean,
he's buddies with the dog.
I mean, Adams can be like Bloomberg, but I think he would be better than Bloomberg in that sense.
Yeah, he would be. He'd be working with ICE on the raids.
Yeah, he's already.
I cannot wait for Holman to have a raid on the Milford Plaza.
Well, he's already helped him on Rikers Island. I guess they're letting the INS there.
Rikers Island. That's where they used to keep the most dangerous mutants.
Yeah, Rikers.
At Rikers. Yeah.
They would threaten you. They would threaten people They would threaten you if they wanted information out of you in New York. They threaten you with Rikers.
Well, I mean, Magneto was there. They put Magneto in Rikers Island.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Then they put it. Then Hank Pym developed a new prison where he shrunk all the villains down. and put them in there.
Yeah, I guess Rikers and Sing Sing are the two most notorious prisons out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably.
Also, Law and Order mentions them prominently.
Yeah.
By the way, last week's
They send everybody in Law and Order to Rikers. You would think,
Do
and
they?
if you watch Law and Order, the only jail in the city is Rikers.
Is it? Didn't Ice-T talk about sending somebody to Sing Sing?
Yeah, every once in a while, but it's mostly Rikers. They're mostly
mostly Rikers. It's pretty much you hear Rikers everywhere. Every New York police show.
That's where they sent the. That's where
I've heard it.
That's where they sent all the VX9 criminals, and that big mobster. You know, then he had everyone killed inside the prison because his people were there. They all went to Rikers. But speaking of Law and Order, last week's episode, it was the episode 1 for the Law and Order, the regular one, not the SUV or the other ones, but
SVU.
SVU, yeah, there you go. Rush Limbaugh used to always call it S.
Put all the criminals in an SUV and send them to Rikers.
No, but they had the villain of the show. They walk in, and obviously you got a picture of Bush and Reagan, and then as they turn, there's a big picture of Donald Trump. I'm like, you're sending a message that what the bad guys are. I mean, the DA is also a crazy Democrat too. The old DA used to be a Republican on the show, and I thought this one was too because he was for the death penalty, while his whatever the DA on Law and Order is, the annoying guy, was against the death penalty. But that's my critique of the show. But actually, while we're on television, I want to do a plug for Shifting Gears, a really good show. I just saw it for the first time the other day. It's pretty good. Tim Allen's new series on ABC Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Good show, well worth the watch. I think it's worth 30 minutes of your time. If you record it, you can skip through the commercials. Only 20 minutes of your time.
What's the premise of the show? Is it about cars?
Yeah, he's a widower and he's got a car restoration shop. His daughter just left the husband and came back, and she ran away. Evidently, the story is they were estranged for a while, and she came back when she left her husband. And basically, that's the premise of the show. Yeah.
I guess I'll have to look it up on Hulu then, see what's going on.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you can watch all the episodes on Hulu. Yes.
Yeah, I like Tim Allen though. I think he's talented.
So. And by the way, I do want to share something with you. There is a brand new hit song making the waves. We're pretty hip here.
Is that the one you put in that chat?
Is that it? Might be. It might be. Hold on. Here we go.
On a warm summer morning in Annapolis halls, I met up with Governor Moore. He was making all the calls. He was staring at the numbers, his budget running dry. He said, son, the surplus gone, and now it's time to pry. You gotta know when to tax, know when to add fees, know when to tax more, cause we're drowning in the Red Seas. You never count your surplus when you're spending at the table. There'll be time for cutbacks, but right now we ain't able. Now Hogan left the budget with a cushion stacked up tall, but Moore just lit the furnace and spin it till it's small. New programs, new projects, no revenue in sight. And when the bill came due, it gave the folks a fright. You gotta know when to tax, know when to add fees, know when to tax more, cause we're drowning in the Red Seas. You never count your surplus when you're spending at the table. There'll be time for cutbacks, but right now we ain't able. Now Hogan left the budget with a cushion stacked up tall, but more just lit the furnace and spin it till it's small. New programs, new projects, no revenue in sight. And when the bill came due, you know it gave the folks a fright. You gotta know when to tax, know when to add fees, know when to tax more, cause we're drowning in the Red Seas. We need to bring back Hogan to clean up this disaster. Before we sink for good, we need a leader faster.
Well, who wrote that and who put that out?
I penned some of the lyrics together. Then I had this lovely thing called AI make sense of the lyrics.
Oh wow!
And Sono basically added the music to it. Sono is so great. I can't wait to final thoughts. There's a lot of fun I've been having with that. I think
Dwight's
Jason,
been doing Dwight's been working hard on this.
Yeah, I've been having more fun with this AI than I should be allowed to have. And you know, it's funny. One of our pizza clubbers, the Emperor, really likes his ballad. we might play his ballad at the end of the show, or at least a 30-second snippet of it. But I mean, in all seriousness, Westmore in Maryland this week, you know, he's sounding the alarm bells. Taxes are going up in Maryland. I think right now there's like a 4-month wait on renting a U-Haul now in Maryland. So if you want to move, you know, you got to reserve your U-Haul 4 months out because everyone's bracing for the Democrat tax increase.
Yeah, well, I told you the other. I mean,
look at Jason. He ran all the way to Texas to escape Westmore's taxes.
That's true. That's true. Every time, you know, every time I go on like Facebook and I see like in my old like neighborhoods, like the Facebook group or whatever, all they talk about is like how high the electric bills and stuff have gotten. And like the amount that people are paying, like if your stuff was normally $200, now it's $400, and it's just, I don't know. I don't see how they can't possibly be pricing people out of living there. Because I know before I left, right before I sold my house and left, I think I got my new bill after the new tax assessments, and I think my mortgage went up almost $200.
That's crazy.
Based off of how much more the taxes were since when I first started living there. So if you put that and then add, my electric bill was usually about 120, so now it would probably be about 2 something. So now you're talking about like an extra $300 a month just like that, just to live there, and now they're going to raise more taxes. Imagine
about all this, because there's a lot of senior citizens that live in Anne Arundel County and in a lot of the counties in Maryland that are on a fixed income, and they can't afford to pay, you know, go from $200 to $400, $600 a month for an electric bill. That's why, you know, we should really, you know, I actually had a plumber that came to do one simple thing. Goes, oh, you need to replace your gas water heater with an electric one. And I'm like, no, thank you. He goes, well, it's going to cost you $5,000 to put another gas one in because you got to you got to reline your chimney. And I'm like, you know, yeah, that's all BS. You just want more work out of me, and I'm not. And obviously, you're a Democrat. That's why you're pushing electric water opposed to gas water and gas heat. You know, and that's what I've got. I've got gas.
Right? Maybe he's like they're going to ban gas at some point or another. So I might as well get it in now.
Yeah, no. You know, if they were to ban, they'll have some subsidy probably that I won't.
I mean, they're always trying to ban gas in Maryland, and it's really doesn't make any sense because up in Western Maryland, like they have to use gas because it gets so cold and there's so much snow.
Yeah.
And an electric heater is not gonna cut it for you when it's.
And by the way, gas water heaters keep the water hot. It doesn't go from hot to cold like electric. Once the hot water is gone, it goes ice cold water. And,
yeah.
And nobody likes that.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what's been going on there because I've seen both on Facebook and next door just these astronomical electric bills that people are talking about. You know, $600, $700, $800 from $200. You know, and they're people are just beside themselves as to what's going on there. I don't know whether or not we had that. It got really, really cold here, right? I mean, we were hitting some extreme lows here for the first time in many years. But we know that electric heat doesn't compare to gas heat. I mean, it's much more inefficient, much more expensive to do. But I know one of the things I know that happened to some of the other people that had been on Nextdoor in the past, when they saw some electric bills jump even before the winter hit, was they had gone and they'd signed up for those deals with the other providers, and they didn't realize that they were signing basically, they were getting a 3 to 6 month, maybe a 9 month, deal that was going to be cheaper than say Pepco or BG&E, but that after that it was basically whatever these guys wanted to charge within regulatory, allowances, which was usually far more than Pepco and BG&E were charging, and they were just being sucked dry. So I think there's several factors there, but it's a big shock, yeah. And on the property taxes, yeah, this state government, I mean, whether or not it's Montgomery County on the county side, whether or not it's the state of Maryland, there is no one out there looking for, from the Democrat side, looking to give us any relief, right? We're just going to see the assessments rose for the House, and the tax rate stayed the same or will go up. So we're just going to keep pumping out more money to these guys for what? What are we getting for this?
How do you think this plays for Moore then? What would Moore's angle be? I mean, he wants to.
He needs. I think. Jason, aren't they supposed to? They're supposed to kind of constitutionally bound to balance the budget, I guess technically, right? So they've got to find the money. And they have to do that. That's the way a lot.
I can find them a whole lot of money real fast if
they have to do that. So, but politically, I mean, so does it hurt him politically within the state? Not really. But how do you run nationally, which he may have national aspirations for, if you just start taxing people? Because this looks like a rerun of Martin O'Malley and the wealth tax, and how many people are going to be chased away, and they'll Ron DeSantis will, and Greg Abbott, they'll welcome them with open arms.
Mm-hmm. Not even you didn't have to go that far. You have Youngkin
but Youngkin's not going to be there. He's only got one term.
Yeah, but I mean, Winsome Sears should win. And we've got great lieutenant governor candidates there. You got Patrick Harrity's running, and then you got Jesse Morales, who's running again for AG. I think I tell you, there's a couple of easy ways Maryland can balance. Let's cut out all the nonsense about Blueprint. Kerwin, just defer funding. Don't fund Kerwin, and that I've just found a whole lot of money right there. How much money is for Kerwin, Jason? I think I just found a
few billion.
Yeah, I found a windfall right there, and then if we cut basically, like, let's get rid of stipends. If you live within 50 miles of Annapolis, you don't get a housing stipend, drive home. Barbara Mikulski used to drive home every night from Washington, as did Bob Ehrlich when he was in the House. And Bob lived farther away than Barbara did. I mean, he drove all the way to Timonium every night. And if they can do it, I'm sure a lot of these Montgomery County, PG County, Howard County, Anne Arundel County Democrats can do that. I think Republicans deserve a subsidy still because we just work harder than they do. And they're the reasons we have to spend a lot of time in Annapolis anyways. But
if we went our way, we just wouldn't even go. We wouldn't even have a session, right? But,
Texas has the right idea.
It's really in a really bad pickle if I was him, because what Don said, right? He either has to raise taxes, which is not a great way to start off saying I would like to be president. But the other option is, if you don't want to raise taxes, then you have to cut Kerwin. And then if you're a Democrat running in the primary against Wes Moore, you're going to say, this guy, cancel all the teachers' raises, right? And that doesn't play well with Democratic primary at all. So he's stuck between those two things.
And he's worried about David.
He'll probably end up doing a little bit of both, and it'll probably hurt him It'll
And is
just
he-
be equal amount of hurt from both
Mhm.
sides.
And we've,
And it's
we've,
also-
we've been talking about Kerwin for years.
What
right?
is it? What is it? I don't know. I don't know.
It is the state of the art modern, almost like I guess European style education plan that they were going to put in. That I guess in the short term, it's just really expensive. It's an extremely expensive education plan. All the teachers get paid more. There are more teachers that teach less, and I don't know. And it just
So even the
blows
bad
my
teachers are
mind.
going to get paid more, Jason.
Hmm?
Even like bad teachers are going to get paid more, like Judy
You
Daca.
had that whole. It was about this time last year when you found in Baltimore because you had to go through this like training program to become like a super teacher, and it was like Eastern Idaho University or something would like let you do the program online, and all you had to do was like sit on the computer for 6 hours and click through it. Somehow,
And they can do that during
and
class.
the union sent it out to everybody and said, just take it, and then you get a raise. And then everybody got a raise because they got certified through some online college in like
Was this for Baltimore City or Baltimore County?
city.
That explains the graduation rate and the reading rate in Baltimore City.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and then it's caused other problems, right? Because you've had I think I don't know what it's up to now, but before I left in Garrett County, because of the way like the math works and all the things that they have to do and the certain thresholds they have to meet and the amount of teachers and the ratios or whatever that goes on, they had to close an elementary school in Garrett County, I'm pretty sure, because they were like, well, we can't do it at 2 elementary schools, so we have to close one and just have one overcrowded school to try to meet.
This is what I was talking to about somebody. You know how in Montgomery County they got rid of car lanes and put in bike lanes, right? And the bike lanes are never used. They also lowered the speed limit in Montgomery County. They put speed cameras everywhere. So, that's our toll booth, by the way. That's Montgomery County's commuter tax. When you come in, because they put those.
Much better in Texas where all forms of cameras on the roads, red light, speed, all of them are illegal.
But, in Montgomery County, they put them in the middle of a hill. So unless you're riding your brakes, you're never going to be at the speed limit, especially after they drop the speed limits down to 25 on most roads.
Yeah, I forget where I rode through. Like right before I left, it was
probably was your way to Stained Glass Pub, maybe.
No, it was past there. I don't know. It's where Montgomery County all of a sudden turns and it looks almost farm-like.
Oh, that's Upper County. That's like Gaithersburg, Darnestown.
Yeah, and there was a road through there, and it was a speed. It was called. Oh, it was near Olney. It was near Olney, and it was. And they had signs. And it's like the speed camera corridor, and I'm like, what the heck? This is like we're proud of it.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I
like
mean,
the
on
wide breaks.
it was not sure on 108 and Georgia Avenue. You've got cameras. 108's got cameras all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you've got to be kidding me. And just I thought it was set up mainly because they were for public schools, but you don't even have to have a public school to have a camera for the county put a camera out there anymore. They're just they have that safe speed corridor. And that's part of Moore's thing, right? Moore wants to what, more like double the fines or something like that on the speed cameras. It's like, this is nuts.
Well, he's got to make up for that budget shortfall somehow.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's that. I mean, none of us are looking. I mean, that we've got even more a bigger increase in the vehicle registration fees. That's looking at. I think
taxing our trade-ins.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the trade-in thing, which it wasn't.
Hopefully it'll die. Hopefully it will die. It's not law yet.
The trade-in thing doesn't make a lot of sense to me, just because cars are expensive, and you're just basically saying we're limiting the amount of the tax-free trade-in portion of that, and if anything that's over that, we're going to collect sales tax on it. And it's like, well, this is kind of dumb, and then the delivery tax, because I think you've mentioned that before, Dwight, because it's on any kind of delivery, right? Like whether or not it's delivery.
I know pizza delivery is going to be 75 cents more. A pizza is going to cost, on top of the $5 that Papa John's or Domino's charges as a gas delivery fee, it's going to be 75 cents on top of that. Also, I heard Monkey County is going to do bring your own bags to the store, so you can't even buy the bags there.
You can get a paper bag for 10 cents. That'll be the new thing. But I mean, to me, this is just the failure of the plastic bag tax is right there. It didn't work, so they thought we're gonna ban all plastic bags except by carryouts, and we're only going to have paper bags, and we're going to go from 5 cents to 10 cents for the bag, which will be split between the county and the store owner, and expect people to do that and say bring your own bags, which is just it. It's a terrible idea, but it's so typical of Montgomery County.
That is true. That is true. It's very. I mean, as a soon-to-be Anne Arundel County resident, I should say, yeah, that's the reason why I'm leaving the county. But by the way, have you noticed how Democrats have discovered high cost of food all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Less, what is it, 21 days he's been Mr.
Yeah.
President Trump's been president, 21 days, 25 days, something like that. Now they're discovering high prices, I don't know,
Well, they say inflation ticked up just a bit. I think it's running 3% now. CPI.
But remember, but you had Joe Biden his policies are still in effect in a lot of things right now. We haven't just, gotten rid of it, So, I mean, it's really funny. Democrats like Harry Sisson, or Harry Sissy, I think he prefers to be called Harry Sissy, basically just discovered all the high prices of eggs and everything. And tariffs are going to make everything more expensive, but I don't know, the price of TV is still down, Jason. You know that? I had to stop myself. Price of televisions. I had to stop myself from buying a TV.
One.
Yeah, that's one of my New Year's resolution. Unless I get rid of something, I can't buy something new. It's like I want to buy a new laser printer or new color laser printer, but I can't find a home for the old one. So
we'll sell it maybe on eBay or something.
Oh, that's too much work.
Okay.
But
yeah, Dwight Thornton saying who needs a laser printer.
Well, the thing with tariffs,
I did, and nobody wants one.
Tariffs might bring down prices in the sense that if they're reciprocal, and if India and the others don't want to have the same tariff, they may reduce their tariff so that they don't get tariffed. So in some ways, it might make prices lower. It's sort of
honestly, if a country really wants to see prosperity, just eliminate all tariffs, right? If let's say you're America, right, and let's say the British Empire says, "Hey, we won't collect any tariffs on you if you don't collect tariffs." So it's a win-win.
Yeah, I agree.
And by the way, you know who else sounded like this? Democrat Richard Gephardt, when he ran for president in 1988, he wanted a trade war with Japan. He wanted to use tariffs and use dollar diplomacy. How fast things have changed.
I think Democrats, at least in our lifetime, they've been more pro-tariff than Republicans. It's only Trump is kind of the heterodox on that one.
But yeah, so
we're on
final thoughts for 8 o'clock. Yeah, I know, because I got to be out of here by 8:15. So, anyways, final thoughts. Dave, go ahead.
Well, keeping busy. I got a column up today on Substack. So David Shepard at Substack, check me out. And then I was on WRVA on Wednesday. So I'm keeping busy and looking forward to a good weekend. And I'm hearing there may be snow in the forecast. I haven't looked, but I hope not. I'm already tired of winter. But that's about it for me.
Yeah. Final thoughts, Jason. Go.
I didn't really come with anything prepared, but you know what? I'll stick with the legal theme, and I'll just relay to something that I heard at school this past week. We had a Federalist Society event, and we had a really impressive guy come who was a recent clerk for Justice Gorsuch on the Supreme Court.
This was not a former governor?
No, it was not. No.
Okay.
No, that's not a secret. I can talk about that later. Nobody's gonna come who's watching the show, but and he came and
you never know. I may fly out for that.
You know what, Dwight? You could come. I'll get you a table. Anyway, he was talking about how during the Biden presidency, the Supreme Court was always running with the shadow docket, right? And it was always on late night TV and all those different things like, oh, there's a shadow docket. It's bad. It's bad. Or maybe it was during the Trump presidency. I can't really remember, but he basically reminded us, and he was like, hey, the shadow docket's getting ready to come back. He was like, didn't really happen during the Biden presidency when they would, uphold the things that Biden was trying to do or whatever with the Supreme Court. But now he was like, whenever you see these challenges by these judges in like Massachusetts or Washington State or whatever, and on any of these things that Trump is doing, and the Supreme Court meets it real quick, and he's like, the shadow docket's going to come back. Watch the media; they'll start talking differently all of a sudden again because Trump is in the White House. But yeah, the other thing that Dwight just alluded to is that I'm on the conservative journal at our law school, which is called the Journal of Law and Civil Governance, and we have See, Dwight, I don't even know when the date of it is. As you got me on the spot, and I'm like, I don't even know when.
No, you can just say that. I thought you were talking about that event, but
no, I don't even know what that is.
Can you say who your headliner is? Because I think he's a very impressive former
We have
governor.
Rick Perry coming to speak at our journal's dinner, which is really
And what's the most important thing he's going to do when he's at your dinner?
Oh, I'm going to try to get him to. I'm going to try to get him to jump in our line of former governors that do the.
That's cool. Yeah.
The show intro. So I'll see if I can work that out. But yeah, it'll be at the end of March on the 29th. We'll see if we can get Rick Perry to join in with all of our other former governors that do the show intro.
Cool. I look forward to that. Don Irvine, final thought.
Just a couple things. I love how Pete Hegseth renamed Fort Bragg, not for Braxton Bragg, but for Roland Bragg from World War II. So it's kind of like, take that, you stupid liberals,
Well, I hope they do that with Fort Benning too.
I mean, that's so I'm thinking like, I guess that means, the other ones that got renamed, if they can find someone palatable with the same name, they can bring back the names of some of the other ones that got renamed, but just rename them for someone who doesn't have a Confederate history attached to them. But I just think this is a brilliant maneuver. Another way of where Dwight say we are winning. We just keep winning on these kind of things. Also, Trump, basically, directing the Treasury to stop minting pennies.
Yep.
We don't really need any more pennies in circulation if people would just circulate the pennies that they have in their houses.
Mm-hmm.
That's
right.
true.
And that part of the problem is that people are just accumulating. I've got a jar full of change, and
I've got some in here. Yeah, I got 3 pennies in here.
Yeah. So they wind up in all kinds of places, right? You see a penny at the locker room at the gym and stuff like that. They're just everywhere. They're in the parking lot at whatever. So I
wonder what this key goes to.
Yeah, that's a whole nother issue about keys. But so you got that. So I think that's good. I mean, that's, if fully implemented, that's what, $85 million a year that we are losing on minting pennies. We also lose money on minting nickels. We do make money on dimes and quarters. That's a positive. But I don't have a problem with taking out the penny. They've run tests before of, if you come up with an odd amount on a charge, and you're paying with cash, you round, the retailer rounds up or rounds down, the net effect is really pretty much zero, because some get rounded up, some get rounded down. It's pretty negligible overall to everybody, and it's kind of a wash. So that, losing the penny, and and looking at it, I didn't realize. I mean, Canada has already had they had eliminated their penny long ago, and so did have a lot of other countries.
Yeah, the Empire did that too.
Yeah. So this is not something new, but it seems that it may take Trump here to finally kill this. I mean, we've been trying to do this. John McCain tried to do this. Barack Obama tried to do this, and Trump is trying to get it done. So congratulations to him on that. Keep going. Hopefully we stopped that whole nonsense. And then I think, from the media standpoint, I love this, how now that Trump is back in office, the White House press corps is more of the other media experimentation, just like they did on the first time around. As of a few days ago, the White House said they had 11,500 requests for credentials to cover the White House from media, from new media, the influencers and other people. I don't know how many of these, credentials are going to grant, but it's also upending the traditional media. We're not going to give them the same level of play that everybody else has always done. So bring in some of these other people, let them ask some questions, and then rotate them through. Why not? You saw that thing with Trump on the airplane, right, on Sunday, I guess it was. He gets a question and he asks who the reporter's from. He says, HuffPost. He goes, I thought they were dead. Yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta love the way he just treats these people and says, "What? They're still around? I didn't know that." So anyway, good for Trump. As we say, winning, winning, winning. Back to you, Dwight.
Yeah, a couple things. One, it's been a wonderful several weeks. I think a lot of things getting done. Government employees are back at work. I can see it on the roads when I'm driving. And guys, it's only been 5 years. You guys haven't been driving on the road. How can you forget how to drive? Left lane is 65. The middle lane is 55. And the right lane is for 50. Although in Florida, it is 65. Actually, it's 75, 85, 95 plus. And that's really what it should be here. But no, we got the lower speed, so that kind of ruins a lot of things and a lot of stuff. Discovered a wonderful, that'll give you hours and hours of fun. It only costs $10 a month. Sono.com. It lets you take, if you've got old song lyrics you've written, or if you just throw stuff into AI and tell it to turn it into a ballad or something, you can do that. You can have hours and hours and hours and hours of fun. Coming up with songs making fun of Democrats and stuff like that. But it's great. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think everyone should go check out Sono.com, and Sono might want to consider sponsoring us. By the way, also the third doctor of Dr. Politics. I want to wish Ryan a happy birthday today. Happy birthday, Ryan, the third doctor. It's kind of like Doctor Who. He would have been the first color doctor, that was in color. Because I think you had two Doctor Who's that were black and white. Then you had the one that was in color, and that would be Ryan. Matthew and I would have been the two black and white Doctor Who's. And on that same theme, I may as well float this theory out. Law and Order SVU is just Doctor Who, because the doctors keep changing every so many years. And that's kind of how Law and Order is. I think the entire cast has changed. I don't think there's a single original member on that show now. But with that said, let me say that's all. And real quick, here's just a little snippet of our ballot to our friend Emperor Garrett Zahner.
Reaching out to find a way to make tomorrow brighter day, turning dreams to reality, more than ever. Zahner now for you and me, Zahner now, he's made the difference, he's shown us how. Zahner now, more than.
That's enough before. Yeah.
What was even the purpose of that?
Oh, basically, like Garrett, like me, is a fan of President Nixon and Nixon now, and we kind of were fooling around that. That's how you count. By the way, only Maryland.
Where's the Spiro song?
Actually, I do have that. There is a ballad of Spiro Agnew out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sorry I asked that.
But speaking of Spiro Agnew, he is the closest any Maryland governor, with the exception of maybe Bob Ehrlich. Closest he'll ever get to the White House. Any Maryland governor will get to the White House. you know, I think if Bob ever ran for president, he probably would have gone farther than Martin O'Malley or Larry Hogan, frankly. But all in all, that's about it. And good night, everyone. And see you guys next week.
See you next week.
See ya.